Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It's a while since I made a video or gave any updates, so I thought I'd hop on YouTube today just to tell you what I've been up to. Dan and I recently had a nice stay in the Lake District. I spent a lot of time growing up in the Lake District because that's where my dad was born and brought up. His parents were Scottish, and my step family, I have a lot of those still in the area. I've also, of course, got family north of the border and in Wales. Now, I was lacking for a while any kind of inspiration. Several weeks ago, I actually burned some of my paintings because I had sold them, and I see fire as a cleansing potion, if you like, a way of getting rid of negativity and bringing forth fresh new ideas. I was, though, waiting for something to happen, waiting for it to work. Anyway, after we returned from Cumbria, I went to stay with my mill. She had the carpal tunnel operation on her other hand. And yeah, it seems to have been successful. She's doing really well. On the Monday, which would be last Monday, I'd been with her for about a week. We decided to go to the South Bank. Now, it's a long time since I've been down to the South Bank, so I was really looking forward to it. And we dropped in at a couple of exhibitions. There was the exhibition at the Royal Society of Miniature Artists, and we had a good look around there. One of my friends, Lana Arkey, had some exhibits in there, and one of her students, Annabelle, won first prize in the young person's competition at just 17 years old, and it was beautiful. I'd seen pictures of it, but the pictures actually don't do justice to the actual work. It's incredible, the amount of detail in a 2-inch painting. It's quite remarkable. We then went to the Tate Modern. Now, I hadn't been for a long time. The first time I ever went there was in 2005. It was the October, and it was literally the last day of the Frida Kahlo exhibition. And my amazing auntie had sent me a tenner for my birthday present, so I spent it on the exhibition. It was one of those you had to pay to see, and oh my god, it was amazing. I'd always appreciated the work of Frida Kahlo, but to actually see the paintings with my own eyes, it was incredible, and that ignited a real spark and encouraged me to do more painting. I've been once or twice since then, but it was this time that was another kind of Frida Kahlo moment. It was just something just hit me. On the second floor, one of the free exhibitions was based on guerrilla females, that's female warriors, and also other rooms with political art, and a wide range of artworks, all challenging the given narrative and depicting that dichotomy between what we're actually told and what's going on in the background, and also human suffering due to things like greed, war, and big business. And the guerrilla females, that was powerful because that showed the dichotomy between the female warrior, that sort of Kali energy of the divine female who has the warrior side as well. It's a strong woman, strong independent woman who will stand up for herself, compared to the everyday life that and role that women are supposed to carry out, or supposed to be seen as carrying out as the housewife and the nurturer. And it was very much about, women standing in their own power, because women have been and are still suppressed in so many ways. I mean, I will say the latest thing, of course, is the renaming of certain body parts that women have, which is, I feel, degrading to womankind. Let's be honest about this. A lot of the things that happen are denigrating and degrading women. And a lot of this is perpetuated by men. I mean, there are some women in strong positions within business, but even if they're creative, a lot of those women tend to have a more left-leaning brain that men often have. So the emphasis is on more logic and that sort of masculine traits at the expense of the softness and the gentleness, perhaps. They might not be as empathetic, for example, as the more right-leaning brain, which you would get more with creative people, say, or people in caring professions to a degree. Although, having said that, of course, there are left-leaning brains within the so-called caring professions, and we've heard a number of stories about that. Anyway, without wishing to open a can of worms, that's all I'll say about that. But what the exhibition did do was inspire me again, and I've got a variety of new ideas which I'm putting into motion. I'm not saying too much at the moment, but needless to say, it will be quite controversial, and more will be revealed in due course on that. But it has enlivened me again, reawakened my creativity, or kick-started it again, and made me want to go back to the canvas and the paintbrushes, which is no bad thing. It gave me the inspiration I was looking for. I recently put up a manifestation to the universe, and I feel that the universe has answered me and shown me the light, so I know more what my creative purpose is on the earth plane. Now, I went with my husband on Sunday to St. George's Ivychurch in Romneymarsh. This is an ancient church. It was rebuilt around 1360 AD. Fabulous architecture. Now, somebody denigrated the church a couple of months ago. I was told it was likely a local person. So after that sort of thing never happened. So after centuries of standing there proud it's been defiled, I don't agree with any vandalism or destruction of any place of worship, whether it be a Christian church, a mosque, a temple, a synagogue, or other place of religious worship. It is just wrong. The person who did it obviously had a lot of anger inside them, but I think it's more important than ever in the world that we're living in to find more positive outlets for whatever negative energy you might have, in order to process that fully and let it go and move forward. I just hope that whoever did this learns their lessons, and that might include getting some help as well if it's been caused by, for example, a mental health problem. I think that is very obvious, that if you're struggling with mental health, please get it sorted out. Don't take it out on anybody or anything, because in the long term, you know, it's not good karma, and it will hold you back in life, and it isn't a positive way of how you showing up in the world at all. And that's all I'll say about that. Anyway, there was a small exhibition in the church by a lady called Wendy Carrig Photography, and I met the lady herself. Now, this was 8 panels, all done on like recycled material, plastics, and this was about the environment, very much about the environment, and it's called Washed Up. And I think the exhibition's on for another few days. I'll tell you in the description anyway about that, so you can get a chance to go and see it if you're in the Kent area. So I bought a set of her postcards with the images on it, and these are all items, plastic items, that non-biodegradable items that she rescued from the seashore. So this, for example, is a plastic leaf. I mean, who would want a plastic leaf? Anyway, look at the beautiful colours, that green. Now, to me, it's a kind of greeny blue of the ocean, but it's also, to me, the colours of the upper heart chakra, which is all to do about peace and harmony. And this one's called Leaf. Very easy name there. Got the details on the back as well. So this one's called Leaf. And I just think it's such a beautiful photograph, really beautiful. And yet it's been a plastic object. I think, how can something so beautiful be made of something plastic and left in the sea? It won't degrade ever, so it's always there. It can be swallowed by marine life and sea animals and sea creatures, and it's just amazing how she's made it look so beautiful, and yet it's potentially deadly. Makes me think of absinthe, which Dan had some absinthe once when we went to Prague. It looked like a potion, a witch's brew, if you like. I couldn't drink it, even the smell of it. I don't know how he drank it. Oh, he could have like mutated, say, into Frankenstein's monster or something like that, or another character from, say, you know, the monsters or Frankenstein or whatever, as from a horror movie or a horror comic strip or a horror show. I wouldn't go near it. And it's no wonder in the old days that people died of like absinthe poisoning. It would rot the brain anyway. He only had the one glass, but just the look of it was, no, not for me. This is a plastic bottle. This has all barnacles. Can you see the barnacles and like traces of the barnacles and the worms as well on it? And it looks so pretty though against the background, which is also made up of different items of non-biodegradable materials washed up on the shore. Now, this is one of the, I think Wendy said this is one of the only articles that she didn't pick up personally. If I remember rightly, it was her mum who picked this one up. But do you note, again, the green and blues, and we're in Cancer season at the moment as well. We've recently had the 777 portal. So you're going to get a lot of these emotional vibes. It's all to do with water energy and very emotional vibes. Something like this can trigger things in some people, and in others it can, maybe like myself, it can even inspire and question. Whereas questioning is a form of inspiration. I see it as a form of inspiration. You actually want to know more about how these were produced and the effects it has on the environment long term, potentially. And then this is another one. Again, it's all greens. All greens. It's sort of turquoises as well. This, and you've got, of course, with the blues as well, you've got that throat chakra thing going on as well, which is about expression. These are expressing certain emotions, certain feelings. They all have a message to convey. And then this one is rather beautiful. This is a cigarette lighter with the female form. Now I see that very much, and I said this to Wendy, as like Gaia and even Kali in a female, divine female and warrior role. With women, as I've said earlier, have been undermined for thousands of years, and it still continues. A lot of the things that are happening that you see in the media, they're all against women. All these acts that are going on are against women. And, you know, the power of the woman, the femininity of a woman. And she has a beautiful body as well. I mean, you don't need a beautiful body on the outside. It's the inside that matters as well. Beauty comes from within. True beauty comes from within. But here is a powerful Amazon of a woman who is proud of her femininity and is standing proud, and she's a fighter. And to me, she's saying, this is me. I'm standing up for myself. I'm a woman and I have my own power and I'm not going to be controlled. So you've got blues and greens in here as well. It's very appropriate. And then this was a fabric conditioner bottle as well. Now that's interesting, washing clothes. You wash your clothes, but then whatever you wash with goes into your water supply, and that can ultimately go into the rivers and the streams and even the sea. There's a whole thing as well that's been around a while now about sewage being pumped into the lakes and the rivers and the seas. So something that's here to clean clothes may not be eco-friendly. The liquid in it may not be eco-friendly, and it's a potential toxin to wildlife and fish and plant life as well. This, they look like prawns. They remind me of bombs. They make me think of war. You know, war against the environment, perhaps. That's what that conveys to me. This one's an interesting one. This one's called Shells. This is all plastic. They look like shells, don't they? But they're all plastic. That one is called Breakaways. Yeah, and if you think about what's going on in the world, what's been going on for quite a while now, that certainly has kind of quite negative connotations. That is a potential trigger, but I'm going to acknowledge that and just let it be in an effort to keep my vibes high. And these are all, believe it or not, these are all cigarette lighters, and Wendy told me that most of these still had fluid in. In actual fact, Dan left a cigarette lighter, which we used to light the barbecue with, in his jean pocket. And this was one very rare occasion where I didn't check his pockets, because I'm always telling him to check his pockets before he puts anything in the wash. Anyway, the jeans were washed, and then out came a cigarette lighter, which still worked, and it still had fluid in. Another potential danger can be swallowed by marine life and in our rivers and streams as well. So those are they. And I find that quite inspiring. It's very interesting. I'd be interested in seeing more of Wendy's work. It's, to me, a different way of presenting photography. I would say unique. Now, I've been busy yesterday making a few items. I'm taking some stuff down to the PLE today, but I want to show you a couple of things I've made, which I'm going to put in my Etsy shop this week. So I have this beautiful choker. Now, these beads were from an old string that belonged to my mum, but they were broken. So I've restrung them. There wasn't enough to make a long enough string to go around an average size neck. If you've got a slender neck, maybe. So I put on some chain as well and finished it. And this was from another item which was broken. And I thought it made a nice pendant. I just think that's so beautiful. So this is about 16 inches long. It's a choker. And I'm calling this the Lulu choker. And because it makes me think of eras gone by. Maybe even Art Nouveau in style, I think. So this one will be going in my Etsy shop later in the week. And then I've also got this pair of beauties. These are going to go up today or tomorrow. Beautiful earrings. These are the Lucy earrings. These are on sterling silver ear wires, and the head pins are sterling silver, and the little floral beads at the top and the bottom, they're also sterling silver. And then we've got some real amethyst beads interspersed with check crystals, the bicone check crystal beads. And the ear wires have got 925 stamped, and these are solid. They're not plated. A lot of so-called sterling silver earrings these days are actually only sterling silver plated, but these are sterling silver. I paid extra for them to make sure they would be sterling silver. I suppose it's a way in these times of making sterling silver a bit more affordable. I also have another pair of earrings. And notice how close, if you look at the colours of these with something like that, I think I've probably been inspired, but kind of in my own way. These are the blues and the greens. And I think my nan, my late nan, was born in July, on the 10th of July. It would have been her birthday yesterday. It was her heavenly birthday. So I'm going to call these Ellen because that was her name. And I think that these are beautiful. So we've got a ceramic big bead, and then you've got these beautiful mixed agate beads, all the colours of the ocean. So I'm going to call those Ellen. And these are high quality silver plated earrings. And I'm going to put these in my Etsy shop. And these will be $7.95 for that little pair. I think they're lovely as well. So that's what I've been up to, and I hope you enjoyed our little chat, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Happy Tuesday, have a good one. See you soon. Bye.